Golf. You know golf, right? People take thin, long metal sticks and hit a tiny ball over vast swaths of land to get into a hole not much larger than my fist. All of this while fighting off the forces of wind and gravity, avoiding trees, small patches of dirt, large ponds in as few shots as possible. To putt it simply, the sport is so impressive from a technical standpoint, but man is it also dreadfully boring to watch. I'm gonna level with ya. I have ADHD. Golf is poison to my brain. It's quiet, it's slow, it's methodical. It can't hold my attention worth a damn. But I am a fan of a few golf-adjacent activities. Putt-putt, Topgolf, and of course, you can't forget golf video games. My first golf game was a little number called Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2003 for the Nintendo GameCube. It was a wonderful golf simulator, full of all the hit ball from point A to point B goodness that one could look for. My father, sister, and I would play this game for hours, aiming for that coveted low score. But then, everything changed when I played a little number called Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, and honestly, it opened my eyes to a whole new realm of golf games. The ones that ruin golf. Games like What the Golf, Golf with Your Friends, and of course my previous favorite golf game, Golf Story, on the Nintendo Switch. I soon began to realize that the further abstracted a game got from golf, the more I seemed to enjoy it. Look, I love a basic golf game. Get the ball from tee to hole in as few shots as possible to avoid that dreaded triple bogey. What's there not to love? I just also happen to really enjoy it when games like Golf Story take a really competent golf game and mash it up with something like an RPG. One genre I've never thought of combining with golf is the roguelike. You see, in most roguelikes, you explore procedurally generated worlds and end up having to start over in a whole new world when you eventually end up dying. That doesn't really make sense for golf, since one of the hallmarks of the sport are those large, sprawling holes, which, since they are confined to the material plane, are also bound by those silly little things we like to call the laws of physics, and therefore are unchanging. Not to mention, people don't tend to, well, die in golf. That actually brings us to the topic of today's video. Cursed to Golf is a game developed by Chuhai Labs and published by Thunderful Games, which says, "Hold my beer," and presents you with a series of golf holes that look like they would be more comfortable in a Metroid or Castlevania game than they would on the fairway. In Cursed to Golf, you play as the Cursed, a pro golfer on the last hole of the big championship. If you sink this shot, you will be known as the greatest golfer of all time. Well, as you gear up for that big old swing, a bolt of lightning hits your club and casts you down into the depths of golf purgatory, an underworld full of labyrinthine golf holes with spikes, sand traps, and teleporters. Well, there, you are greeted by a jolly green spirit known only as the Scotsman, and he informs you that the only way to escape is to complete all 18 holes of golf purgatory without running out of shots. Sounds easy enough, right? Well, unfortunately, you only have 5 shots to complete each hole. Well, if you fail to do so, you have to start over from hole 1 in a completely different course than you were just in. Well, luckily for you, Golf God, yes, there actually is a Golf God in this game, has blessed you with shot idols, little statuettes scattered across each hole that grant you extra shots when hit with your ball. On top of that, you have another ace up your sleeve, ace cards. Ace cards can be earned by completing holes found in chests along your path, or purchased at Eternity, Golf Purgatory's premier pro shop. I am a sucker for card mechanics in video games, so I was wild about these guys. They offer a wide variety of abilities and benefits, such as being able to change the direction of your ball mid-flight or pulling a Dio and stopping your ball in its tracks entirely. Honestly, you can combine these abilities in so many different ways that there is just a plethora of avenues to get to the hole in as few shots as possible. In fact, some of the cards also give you extra shots or let you mulligan your shot. I just want to touch on how the game looks and sounds. The art direction in this game is just so charming. The 18-hole course is split into 4 areas, each with unique challenges and designs. The game's stunning parallax backgrounds remind me of playing Super Mario World when I was a kid, and the whole first area reminds me of a Castlevania game. Well, where Dracula's just super into golf imagery. Package those settings with an absolutely banging soundtrack, well, now you've got a stew going. One of my favorite tracks starts to play when you realize that your first boss is going to be that jolly green giant, the Scotsman. His normal theme is this whimsical number with bagpipes, but the boss theme throws in a shredding guitar for a much heavier rock feel. There are also these little elements that just scream attention to detail. In between each hole, you drive your golf cart along a little path flanked by spectral spectators cheering you on. The animations are also stellar, like the one that plays between shots where your golfer gets sucked into a portal and spat back out the other end. Or, one of my favorites, where a little guy struggles to balance as they teeter on a ledge. The whole game just oozes character, from the little palette swaps you get from Eternity that reference famous indie game characters to all the golf puns. So many golf puns. On top of that, the controls are incredibly intuitive, and I was super surprised to see how well the game played on my phone via the Steam Link app. Listen, Curse to Golf standard holes are incredibly fun, but the game really shines in the curse holes. These challenge levels add different curses, such as flipping your screen upside down or forcing you to hit in only one direction for a certain amount of shots. I really enjoyed these levels, as they asked me to combine my shots and ace cards in ways I didn't formerly think possible. They added a much-needed twist to the standard gameplay formula. Another great example of these are the boss fights you encounter at the end of each area. These battles ask you to go up against one of the 4 ghostly guides you've met along your path. These golfing ghosties each have their own special strengths and abilities that force you to really think outside of the box. Which brings us to our first complaint. The boss battles are thrilling twists to the game's formula, but they're finite. There's only one boss per area, and once you beat them, you don't have a meaningful interaction with them until the end of the game. Which is a shame. I really grew to love these characters, but after you defeat them, they give you a cool new ability, send you on your merry way, and are reduced to basic shop keeps. This is a challenge, since the boss fights serve to break up the pace of the game. But once you beat them, you don't fight them again, so it can make the run start to feel longer and longer. And it starts to get monotonous. Another nitpick I have about this game is that there are some mechanics that aren't very clearly explained. Take spin, for example. This ability lets you change the direction of your ball after it hits the ground, which is incredibly vital for a lot of the holes found in Golf Purgatory. But they don't teach it to you till after you die the first time. Or the card binder. It's a button in Eternity that I assumed was just going to show me a collection of the cards I have unlocked, which isn't unheard of for a game with card mechanics. However, it's actually an ability that lets you bank ace cards for future runs, which is super helpful, but they don't tell you about it till you click on it. Listen, I love this game, and these nitpicks didn't really hamper the enjoyment I had for it. It was just really frustrating because it became a little card goblin that was hoarding cards that I was probably not going to use because I was going to die anyway. One of the hallmarks of the roguelike genre is replayability, and this is where I find Curse to Golf to be most lacking. There just really isn't much more to do after you beat the game. I hope in future updates they may add different post-game modes, such as an all-cursed hole mode, a boss rush, or even an endless mode, just something to keep me coming back for more. In an interview on the Nintendo podcast, which I'll link down below, the director of Curse to Golf, one Liam Edwards, mentioned several things that they intend on adding to the game, such as multiplayer, a level builder, and different accessibility options. So I have no doubt that there will be so much more added to this game in the future. When I first played through the game, I had a bunch of notes on bugs that hindered my experience, but as of recording this video, I'm happy to say that the team at Chuhai Labs has been diligently working on patching the game. None of those bugs are in the game as it is now. With all that being said, I got so much enjoyment out of my time in Curse to Golf. When I finally ascended from Golf Purgatory and saw the Cursed holding their trophy, I felt such immense pride in what I had overcome. This game is challenging, rewarding, and chock full of style. I highly recommend it. And if you're curious or not even sure if this game is for you, there's actually a pretty lengthy demo over on Steam that gets you all the way through the first boss, which I'm not gonna lie is a lot of content. Really, give it a go. I think you'd really enjoy it. So, have you played Curse to Golf? Do you want to? Let me know in the comments down below. Also make sure to hit that subscribe button for more reviews like this one, Twitch highlights, or just my general thoughts on video games. You can also find me at twitch.tv/AustinTranslation live every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we play loads of games like Curse to Golf. So come hang out sometime. We have a great time. Also, a huge thank you to Chew High Labs and Thunderful Games for giving me a code to this game. I really appreciate it, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.